Last week at the Silverdome in Pontiac wasn't exactly the best of days for either Emig or McGrath.
Last week I was just tight. That's just all there was to it. From not getting to do a lot of training and stuff because of my injury the week before, I just tightened up a little bit. Ain't no thing, I worked real hard all week long. We tested, everybody on the team, Kawasaki, they were all working hard, making sure that I got plenty of riding time this week. And I think that that's what I hadn't been getting enough of, was enough time on the bike. And so consequently, when I went to Pontiac, I just didn't feel right.
Something that I've never done before in my whole life, and I was pretty disgusted about it. I was pretty mad, and there's no reason it should have happened. I was 5 seconds out in front, and I didn't need to be pushing it as hard as I was. But I'm always under the influence. If you push it as hard as you can, then not much is going to happen. You got to race like you raced the first 10 laps, the last 10 laps. So maybe if I would have slowed down, something else would have happened. So try not to let that happen again.
As we come back, the 30-second board is up. Davey Coombs.
I think you're going to see a lot of things happen here in the first turn. It's going to be who gets out cleanly and who's left behind. We've seen it happen all night, and the card is sideways.
Could we have a different winner? We've had 6 different winners this year. Could we have a new points leader when this is over? Emig and McGrath. McGrath gets across the line, but look at number 7, Kevin Windham. Windham shoots out of there like out of a cannon.
Yeah, Jeremy McGrath took Jeff Emig way deep into the hay bales and ended up screwing both of them up. I think Jeremy got into that first turn, and he didn't want to get pushed out like he did in the heat, so he went a little too deep.
That was a disaster for Jeff Emig. He went from second on the outside to about 15th.
The fireworks, in case you want to know about the bombs going off, it's fireworks here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on our first lap. Kevin Windham, and then
Mike Craig
in second place with Ezra Lusk in third, Larry Ward in fourth. It's Albertine and then Jeremy McGrath. After McGrath, it's Bradshaw, Kadrowski, then it's Phil Lawrence. Boy, we have to go way back until we find a Jeff Emig.
Right, you're going to really see Jeff Emig's merit here. He's going to have to fight for this one because we saw Jeremy McGrath just cut through the field in the heat race. Now he's right in the same position he was in the heat, so look for him to go forward, but you're going to have to see Jeff Emig push really hard.
Emig in 14th place. He's come back before. We'll see if he has it here tonight.
We saw him mess up a shift off the starting gate at Houston and went from dead last to first, but this is not a Houston-type track.
What about this Kevin Windham? If he wins, it could be his very first 250 Supercross victory.
Well, we watched him dominate the heat race, and I've also seen him do the same thing over in Japan. So if he gets out a big enough lead, Jeremy might not want to bother with him and go try to chase him down instead of taking that chance. So he's going to be a strong person to beat and a really hard person to beat in this race.
Yeah, if somebody's just tuning into tonight's broadcast, they think you see all the riders over there in Japan. Ricky, you spent a lot of time over there, huh?
Well, definitely. But like Davey was pointing out right here, we got Greg Albertine past Jeremy McGrath back, so we got a dice going.
That'll be a team player, though, later on. That's for sure. McGrath is now in 5th place. Out in front, zooming, is Kevin Windham.
Might see a little bit of the future of Supercross now. We saw it in the 125 class with Carmichael, and right there goes the future of the 250 class, Kevin Windham.
Yeah, Kevin's running really strong. He's hitting his lines perfect, and like I say, he's a little bit bigger, so he's got some leverage, and so with speed's not going to bother someone that can throw around a bike like that. Jeremy
McGrath gets the clean bar-to-bar action now with Albertine.
I see Emig right now. He's only picked up 2 spots on that lap. He's only up to 12. He's getting ready to make a move on one of the Chaparral guys, but he's got a long way to go before he gets in the top 3, let alone before he gets up to Jeremy McGrath.
A 5-second lead for Windham on Craig. And then right behind him, Ezra Lusk. Jeremy McGrath has now moved behind Lusk.
Well, right now what Jeremy's probably doing is settle in. He's got an eye on all the top 3 guys. Now he can take his time. He knows he has 19 laps to do it, and that's a long time. So he might be thinking, hey, Kevin Windham can get tired. A lot can happen in that time.
Number 15, Michael Craig, coming off the injured list after missing 4 races with a broken scapula. That's your angel wing, I think. But he's one of the riders, guys, I thought had a good chance for a win this season. Ezra Lusk takes Craig, number 15.
Maybe a little bit of that time off came back and haunted Craig right there. He junked the landing off that little double. That's all Ezra needed. Now we got Yamaha 1 and 2, and that's happened once earlier this year.
More than once. In fact, Yamaha is one of 3 factories to have a 1-2 finish this year. Yamaha, the only one with doing it twice. Craig off the track.
Craig just cased the jump really hard. He might have re-injured his leg or something, but he just pulled off the track like, hey, I heard something. I'm gonna hold off and park it. He's off the side of the bike.
So Windham running away in first place. Ezra Lusk in second. We had a Doug Henry win and an Ezra Lusk second place earlier in the season. We've had an Ezra Lusk Windham 1-2. And right now, watch this replay.
See,
Craig doesn't get the height, runs right into the triple. That's one of the highest speeds, and if you notice, he just basically bails out. He's getting off the track. Something went wrong.
You know, Windham was just looking at this 250 action when he started in the last race at Pontiac as a warm-up for his 125 Western finish in Dallas. He was coming off an injury, and he wanted to get back in sync as his mechanic there, Steve Butler, shows him the board.
Yeah, the way the series works for 125 riders, like Carmichael was talking about the next 125 National, that's not for 3 weeks away. Windham had 3 weeks off before he got to his next 125 West Region race, a very important race because he could wrap up his title.
Steve Butler, I should have said, giving the board to Ezra Lusk. That's the mechanic that works for Ezra, as Ezra's in second place with McGrath, Albertine, and Larry Ward in the top 5.
Well, I've been watching Jeremy McGrath, and he's missing his jumps just a little bit. He might be thinking a little bit too much about the championship, but he's off the pace from Windham. If he doesn't pick it up, he's not going to catch him.
Okay, Marty's with Ali Seymour, who's the mechanic of Kevin Windham.
Hey, I got to ask you, did you feed him Wheaties or nitromethane? What's going on?
I don't know. He's getting used to riding a 250, and he likes it a lot, so we got 15 more laps. We'll see if we can hang on.
Yeah, but he's kicking their butts right now.
He's got some really good speed out there. Down those straightaways, he's really cruising. But we'll see.
He's coming by again, guys.
It's been an interesting year as we take a look at the battle for fourth now with Larry Ward getting hounded by Albertine. Albertine moving up, is looking for his opportunity to pass Rick Johnson.
Yeah, Larry Ward just got past Albertine. If you see that those little nagging cases, it's kind of like a jab in a boxing match. It takes a little bit out of you each time because every time you go to hit those things, you've got to squeeze up real tight.
Emig has moved up to 9th place.
Yeah, he actually is just getting ready to make a move on Phil Lawrence for 8th, and then after that, he's got a long way to go before he gets to Bradshaw and Ryan Hughes, and that's not even in the top 5 yet.
Emig leading by only 2 points over Jeremy McGrath. Inside, Ward tries to cut off. Here comes Albertine. Albertine, what a back-and-forth battle we've got going between Team Suzuki and Honda of Troy.
Yeah, both these riders putting in their best rides.
Here's another battle, too. Jeremy McGrath is trying to put the challenge onto Ezra Lusk.
Well, see, here you got a situation where you got a guy going for a championship and a guy that's a long shot that just wants to be impressive every time he's on the bike. So Jeremy's got more to think about than Ezra.
Last week, Lusk never letting McGrath off the hook from 3 to 5 seconds every lap right behind him. When McGrath made a mental mistake, probably he was as disturbed at himself as he's ever been after a race.
Yeah, I know last year that Ezra Lusk finished 3rd in the standings. It was a big surprise, but it was nowhere near as convincing or as impressive as he's been this year, getting all these podium finishes and doing so well.
The race for the 97 AMA Supercross title continues from Charlotte, North Carolina. Stay with us.
Walk in with no down payment. Ride off with a new...
No one sings like Oberman.
Bottom line, we move merchandise.
And the battle is on now, but right now, Kevin Windham is out in front. Here is a replay, though, in the battle for 2nd place. It's Jeremy McGrath on the right, Ezra Lusk on the left. Wheel to wheel. Not even a scratch of plastic, though, and now Ezra Lusk is kind of playing it like he did last week. Not let Jeremy get too far away, but he's not showing him any wheels.
We saw the same thing in the heat race earlier. Ezra got behind him and checked out his lines. One thing people might not know about, and some of you people out there on the internet following these races might know this, Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk are on there all the time, and they're pretty good friends on opposite sides of the country, but they get together and talk about these things.
Yeah, but right now, I don't care if they're bunk bed buddies. These guys are going to take each other out to win this championship.
Windham, McGrath, Lusk, Albertine, Ward, Hughes, and Emig. Now, that shouldn't be a problem with Emig getting by Hughes.
Ryan Hughes is a tough player. He gives it 110% anytime he's on the track. Last year, he broke his jaw, came out and rode.
And
so
he's just moved by, yes. Ryan, and now he's looking forward to Larry Ward.
I think right now what Emig might want to think about doing, he's going to keep moving forward, obviously, but he might want to focus on Albertine, the 4th place rider, cut his losses there. He'll still be within a couple points. He will lose the points lead, but at least going the last 2 rounds will still be close.
Rick, Emig's looking a lot smoother now. I guess he's just loosened very tight beginning.
Yeah, he is looking real smooth, but that's what wins him the championships in the outdoor. In Supercross, you got to be aggressive, and you got to hit every little jump, bump, and turn with 100% aggression. And I think that's why Jeremy McGrath has done so well in Supercross.
Our leader, Kevin Windham. This could be his very first 250 win. What a great break that might be in capturing maybe a 125 Western title next week, but already having that 250 win under your belt.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off. You know, he's up in the major league, he's in the show, and if he wins the bout here, it'll take him into next year with a lot of confidence.
Jeff Emig, Larry Ward, Honda of Troy, trying to hold off the points leader. Interesting battle right here. Emig goes on the inside and very clean pass. Didn't even have to try to block him.
I think Ward knows.
Ward says, "Hey, goodbye."
Yeah, he knows who's in the championship chase right now.
And so Emig is on the climb up the ladder, guys.
Yeah, you know, I understand that there's guys out there fighting for a championship, but Larry Ward still needs to establish himself as the man. So I'm surprised he gave up that easy.
Pretty soon on the long straights, guys, Windham will be waving at Emig on the direction going the other way as we check our leader, number 7, Kevin Windham. He's got a huge lead right now.
Yeah, Kevin is just running really strong.
Honda stopwatch time. Let's get an interval right now and see if we can pick out between number 1 and number 2, Jeremy McGrath in second spot.
You know,
here's Jeremy.
When the season started, Art, could you have ever imagined there'd be 7 main event winners in the 250 series?
Nope. You want the honest question? Huh? No. We've had 6 so far. That ties a 1990-1991 mark of 6 different winners in a Supercross season. We have never had 7 different riders win in a Supercross season. We've had 8. That was back in '85.
Yeah, but after last year's just complete dominance of Jeremy McGrath, I know he switched brands and everything like that, but he's still McGrath.
And never before have we had simply 6 different winners in only 3 different brands. Back in those days, in 90 and 91, all 4 brands participated in that kind of display.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that you can, one of the reasons is people saw a dent in Superman's armor over in Europe and Japan when Jeremy didn't do well in the new Hondas, and I think that gave them the confidence to say, hey man, Superman has kryptonite, maybe we can beat him.
8 laps remaining in our 250 main. Can Windham hold on to this lead as we check out his lap time, Rick Johnson?
Well, he's running 3 seconds a lap faster than Ricky Carmichael was, so that's give a little call to him for running that hard on a 125. But Kevin Windham is just running smooth. You look at him, to me, genetically, he's got the right build-up. He's big enough to where he can manhandle the bike, but he's not so big that he's getting in his own way, so he's a contender.
Guys, we have another fan fact on the way. We have never had 4 first-time winners in one season. If Windham wins this race, he'll go with Albee, Lusk, and Huffman as a first-time winner on a season. We mentioned it was stiff competition this year, but those numbers really prove it.
And those guys are all really young, too. I think it bodes well for the future of Supercross.
Yeah, here we're watching Jeremy McGrath, and Jeremy's just going to do what he can to pick off a little bit of time here and there on Windham. He's not going to make any big mistakes and go chase him down.
Oh, Lusk making a big move. Leaps over Jeremy McGrath. Ezra Lusk wants that number 1-2 finish for Yamaha. McGrath now has to wake up. I think he caught him by surprise.
That goes back to what Rick was saying whenever Larry Ward pulled over and let Jeff Emig by. Ezra Lusk, he does not have the same courtesy.
No, you're watching guys that want to be superstars and want to be the best, and I think Ezra Lusk knows what it feels like to win a couple of main events. Okay, down to Marty.
Yeah, when he came by, he was motioning something about being wrong with the bike. I'm standing here with Wyatt Seals. He's on the radio with Roger DeCosta. He can't talk to me right now. They're trying to figure out what's wrong also, but there is definitely something wrong with Jeremy Suzuki.
He's got a flat tire.
Looks like he might have the flat tire. Jeremy McGrath, what a break this would be. Yes, the rear tire.
Yeah, Jeremy McGrath has got a rear flat tire.
Well, it's a fairly straight track. If it were the front tire, it'd be impossible.
Yeah, but with this high-speed track, as much as you're accelerating to jump triples and doubles and through the whoop-de-doos.
That's right, lots of jumps.
Yeah, you're going to throw that bike sideways. So we're going to test his merit, but that's the great thing about Supercross.
There's a lot of time left, too. That thing might come off the rim lock, and he's going to have some real problems.
7 laps remaining for number 1, Jeremy McGrath. Can he hold on? As Emig has got to be inspired once he sees the pit board and see what kind of time he's picking up on Jeremy McGrath. Just a matter of time now.
You know, the way things are working out for Emig, you better hope that Hughes and Ward get inspired too, because the way he's riding, he's going to need some more points to cushion him when he gets to Dallas and Las Vegas.
Well, looking at that rear tire, it was 10 years ago that I did some development work with Dunlop on the 19-inch rear wheel. If that was an 18-inch rear wheel, it's a lot more tire than that's hanging out there, and you have a lot more trouble. So, you know, I think this tire will hang in there. It's a soft enough track. There's not really anything that can hurt it, but he needs to stay straight and focused going off the jumps.
We're seeing Greg Albertine come up behind his teammate. I wonder how long Albie's going to stay behind him.
Well, he might just take it right now. He's going to the inside of the corner now. Or do, as a team player, do you come back and try to delay Emig? No. Albertine takes Jeremy McGrath. Let's go down to Marty.
Yeah, we're down here with Wyatt Seals. Wyatt, looks like the rear tire.
Yeah, it's definitely flat. I guess it happened back here, back on the backside, not the other end here at the left. So, I don't know, he's just got to do the best he can. Hopefully, I mean, we're coming up with 5 laps to go, and pro's coming. God, I hope we stay ahead of him.
We're going to get the stopwatch out, guys. We'll keep tabs on this one.
Well, the next battle will be Emig versus McGrath, as we see Greg Albertine now moving up a spot into 3rd place.
I mean, you can't imagine the breath of fresh air that Jeff Emig has right now. When he comes around and he sees on his chalkboard, Jeremy flat tire, I mean, that's just like a breath of oxygen. And he's just going to, right now, he's just staying his same consistent Jeffro, and he's just going right after him.
What a gigantic momentum shift this might turn out to be. He's not past him yet, and it's not to say that something's not going to happen to Emig, but wow, this is totally unexpected.
He's 5 seconds behind and drawn up fast. Number 3, Jeff Emig. What a break for Jeffro.
Okay.
Let's check out the Honda stopwatch now and see.
Well, Emig's down to a couple seconds. It's not going to be, I'll bet he has him through this next section of whoops, because Jeremy cannot accelerate, can't make the jumps like Jeff can.
A few seconds behind them, we got Ryan Hughes and Larry Ward coming up too. Right there we see Emig go by Jeremy, just salvage the points lead, Art.
That's right. Emig making his move. Emig started in 14th and has now moved 10 spots up. And number 3, number 1, it's Jeff Emig.
Well, I think, you know, Jeremy is a champion. He's going to keep fighting. Now, the key is going to be Ryan Hughes and Larry Ward. If they get by him, that's going to put a little bit of a chunk in there for the last race. So, you know, last couple races. So, right now, Jeremy's got to be getting eat up right now, because I've been through that. I lost a spring in '82, and that added to me losing the championship.
Number 9, Ryan Hughes. You see him on the track there.
Yeah, actually, on the other side of the track, I see Damon Bradshaw's riding around about the same pace as Jeremy McGrath. So we've seen 3 contenders, Bradshaw, Craig, and of course McGrath. Except for some bad luck here in the main event, Charlotte.
Watching Jeremy McGrath's style, he has to swoop all the turns, and he has to be real smooth and accelerate. He can't make any short moves.
3.5 seconds behind Jeremy is this young man, Ryan Hughes, number 9. What a job he could do for Kawasaki and his teammate Jeff Emig by passing Jeremy McGrath, chipping away those points. And the next question is, can Greg Albertine hold off Emig?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a problem there. You know, Albie's a tough guy.
4 laps to go. Our leader, we've almost forgotten about him, because the points race is really the important factor right now. But Kevin Windham, as here comes Ryan Hughes against Jeremy McGrath with the flat rear tire.
If you watch, Jeremy McGrath's right wheel kicks to the right side every time he goes off a jump, because the tire's just not staying on the rim.
Emig picked up 2 points when he passed McGrath. The game on +4. Hughes goes out, it's +6. At that point, Jeff Emig controls his own destiny in the title chase. McGrath can win the last 2 races. If Emig gets second, he gets the title. And that's way down the road, guys.
And Ryan Hughes just makes a pass on Jeremy. He's kind of helpless. He's not going to sit and try to block these guys or try to knock him down, because they could end up running him over and hurting him as well. So he just has to sit and take this beating right now, which has got to be tough after all he's been through this year.
Ward right behind McGrath. That would be losing more points for Jeremy McGrath's cause. Jeremy McGrath, last time I've ever been getting flat tire was in Seattle. He lost that race. Larry Ward in front of Jeremy now.
Jeremy's got 3 laps to hold off the next furthest guy back. He's got about 10 seconds on Mike Kudrowski. So we see Ward roll by on the inside there. And, man, you know, it's taken away from a great ride of Kevin Windham's. He is long gone. Ezra Lusk has had put on a team's going to get on the podium, but big story, Jeremy McGrath.
Right now, Kevin Windham is approaching out of the horseshoe, the finish line, and that would mean only 2 laps remaining in this race. Windham, Lusk, Albee, Emig, Hughes, Ward, and McGrath, the order.
Tough break for Jeremy McGrath, but you know, you don't want to take away from Kevin Windham. He's drove a picture-perfect race, and he's walked away from these guys. He's running smooth. He's got all the confidence. Imagine you're going to start seeing that Kevin Windham heel clicker here pretty shortly and start doing some showboating for the fans.
Right now, he was just trying to correct himself in midair there, I think. Davey.
You know, I got another thing that I've just been thinking about as far as these last 2 races go. Windham goes back to the 125 class. Craig, obviously hurt. Jeremy McGrath's not going to get a lot of help. There's not going to be a lot of people that get in between those guys.
Larry Ward lapping Bradshaw. Bradshaw having all kinds of mechanical problems, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a tough deal. Come back to your hometown and want to do a good job, and then have something go wrong mechanically. Really hurts your ego.
2 laps to go. Kedrowski's coming up on McGrath, and then guess who's next, Art? It's Mike LaRocco.
Oh, look out as Jeremy McGrath's challenge on Jeff Emig seeping away with only 2 full races after this one remaining.
There's Jeremy. You watch him. He can't hit those jumps with any enthusiasm. Here comes Mike Kedrowski, just being able to accelerate and drive at his own pace. And Jeremy, just like I say, just sitting there and has to take the beating.
Mike Kedrowski, coming out of a year of retirement, had a bad hand injury coming out of Gatorback and missed several Supercross races, but he really wants to get tuned up for the outdoor national season as we get set for the white flag. White flag lap underway. As high as 2nd, Jeremy McGrath is now in 7th.
Here comes Ezra Lusk. He's been pushing the whole time, and now he's within probably 10 bike lengths of Kevin Windham. You can see him just now onto the screen. Man, this Ezra is really putting on a charge this last lap.
Cutting through the lappers right now as he's going to take on Phil Lawrence to the inside. You see Kevin Windham on the final lap right now. Ezra Lusk is not that far behind. Right there on the corner. Ezra would like another victory. There's no question about that. Ezra Lusk with 2 wins in the last 3 races, making a move on his teammate. Kevin Windham stepping it up a bit as Ezra tries to get by Jimmy Button. Ezra flies over the double. Here's the horseshoe. Coming up the checkered flag. A Yamaha 1-2. That's a fact. Here's Kevin Windham. His first 250 Supercross victory. Ezra Lusk in 2nd place.
And here comes Mike LaRocco on Jeremy McGrath. We got half a lap to go. He can still make the pass on him, but now is he going to be a team player, or is he just going to go out for himself and try to take those points away?
Team Yamaha. Look at Kevin Windham shaking his head, probably exhausted after his own teammate pushed him to the limit.
Well, when you get pushed like that, you have to step it up on the last lap. It makes it tough. But here we got Jeremy McGrath, the champion that he is, just keep fighting and keeps digging, and he's holding off Mike LaRocco.
Jeremy McGrath, an unfortunate situation right now. It'll be interesting when we see the official standings.
I think that this is great. Mike LaRocco is being a team player. He's not pushing it. You know, even though there was the controversy there, that makes him a great champion.
We'll be back with the official order of things and the celebration here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway after this.